Hi, I'm Ed Kless. The team at Sage Accounting Solutions came up with 6 challenges that they hear often from professionals as to why they can't go to value-based pricing. Fortunately, I'm up to the challenge. Challenge number 4. There is a challenge in assigning value to the services that professionals provide in a value-price environment. I agree with this challenge. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. But before I address how you do it, I wanted to talk specifically about this word services. And it might be the starting point for getting to this value conversation. See, I don't think it is that what you provide is services so much as it is access to or transfer of knowledge. In other words, you're a knowledge worker, not a service worker. After all, Starbucks provides a service, hotels provide a service, airlines provide a service, but what you provide is, again, access to or transfer of your knowledge. Perhaps another way of saying it is your judgment, and that's what's different from service work. Now, keeping this in mind, the first step is to be able to move off the solution, and this is where Sage Value comes in. Sage Value is going to help you move through this value conversation to get an understanding of what the value is to the customer. And the first step is to move off the solution. Now, this is a phrase that Mahan Khalsa, in his book Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play, made known to me. And it's a very simple thing to do, but it takes a lifetime to master. I guess it's like checkers, right? So the idea is this. We want to be able to move off the solution. So a customer comes to us with a problem, and our tendency as professionals is to want to talk about how we can solve that problem. That's what we do. We like that. But if we don't understand what the value of the problem is to the customer, we'll never be able to value price. So we have to move off the solution. There's a 3-step process to this, actually 4-step, but the first step is listen. After listening, we then do 3 things. 1, we assuage the customer by letting them know that they've come to the right place. 2, we kind of pivot. We change the conversation and away from the solution. And then the third thing we do is to close. And by close, I don't mean close the sale. I mean close a question around this idea of moving off the solution. So here's what it sounds like. The customer prospect comes to you and says, hey, listen, I'd really like you to do my tax return for me this year. How much is this going to cost? And here's the reply. Thanks for calling. Thanks for emailing. Thanks for getting to me. We do tax returns all of the time. However, what we found is that individuals' tax returns are often that, individual, in that they vary from person to person to person. So while the forms are the same, what happens to that return might differ from person to person, and we really want to know and get an understanding of what it is that you want in a provider of someone who's going to give you this tax return. So would it be okay if I asked you a couple of questions as to what your hopes and dreams are in the future so that we can apply them and perhaps fill out this tax return that gets you to that point in your life? See how that sounds? It's a lot different from, yes, we charge $75 for a 1040, right? Very different, because what we're pivoting to is the hopes and dreams and aspirations of the person, and not just the fact that they want a tax return. The tax return is just the outcome for this particular engagement. But we want to be able to help them and their future. Challenge 4. Dismissed. Have a question that wasn't addressed by our series? Send us an email at firmofthenow@sage.com, and I'll be up to the challenge and answer yours.